Hey everybody, come on in. Welcome back to Weather on the Go. All your weather coverage on this Friday, November 22nd, 2024. And in this video, we're going to be talking about more wintry-like conditions across the lower 48, including the potential for an Arctic outbreak and a couple of winter storms to traverse the country as we go through Thanksgiving week and really into the early part of December. So we're going to be diving into all the new details that we have for you here on this channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below so you are updated on the latest on the winter weather ahead, and for more information on the weather ahead as well throughout the year and next year as well. And also like the video. It helps more than you know to get this information out to more and more people. I cannot stress this enough. Like the video, we're giving it a thumbs up. Turn on the post notification bell though so you are notified when my videos are posted, and of course leave any comments, questions, concerns below. Get to those after the video. This morning, temperatures pretty chilly up here across the northern plains. We're into the teens and low 20s to start the morning. Southwestern Canada, where we're starting to lay down a little bit of a snowpack, those temperatures did start off into the single digits this morning, and those areas will remain in the teens for highs this afternoon. Now, the 32-degree line is further north today, but it is still going to be pretty chilly if you are in the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, or the Northeast. Temperatures there will be into the 30s, if not the 40s. So it's still going to be a chilly day this afternoon for your Friday, and we're keeping an eye on two bigger storm systems still today. We got one big storm over here really kind of traversing across the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic, and then another storm that continues to pummel the West Coast that's continuing just off of the Pacific Northwest today as well. Let's walk you through the weather alerts here across the country, okay? So we have winter weather advisories in the purples all the way up and down the Appalachians, all the way up into portions of Pennsylvania and southern New York State. Winter storm warnings are in the pinks, and even blizzard warnings down here in the Appalachians of West Virginia. So we're keeping an eye on that. Across Dixie Alley, here in the deep south into parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, and these lighter blues, those are freeze watches. In those purples here, those are freeze warnings, where we anticipate a hard freeze as we go into the weekend. And then across the west, we got those flood watches still for Northwest California, and then the Sierras absolutely getting crushed by snow, especially here over the next couple of days. Winter storm warnings are out for those areas for that. So looking at this afternoon, we got two of those systems on either coast, and the one system to the east here bringing some remnants of some rain and or snow showers across the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. That won't be adding up to too much, but definitely a nuisance out there. If you're traveling, make sure to take it slow on those roadways. The west, the Sierras, we're going to be seeing very heavy snowfall. Snowfall rates of easily 1 to 3, even 4 inches per hour cannot be ruled out here as this atmospheric river just pummels the west coast. Higher rainfall rates in the lower elevation, we'll be keeping an eye on that. And of course, the Weather Prediction Center's watching it as well. We have a moderate risk for flash flooding here near the coast of Northwest California, but also the northern Sierras with a mix of very heavy wet snow and some rain in some spots there. Really going to create that runoff, maybe even some mudslides here as we go through the next 24 hours. And again, just to refresh your memory, a moderate risk for flash flooding means numerous flash floods are likely, and this could potentially affect larger tributary rivers out there. So that is something we'll watch heading into the weekend. But let's talk about the weekend here with our temperatures. First off, looking at the colder air really remaining bottled up to the north and southwestern Canada. That's going to be diving southeastbound. At first, not very fast, okay? So it's going to stay up here to the north across the Rockies and the northern plains for Sunday, and the milder air will continue to persist with that southerly flow from the southern plains up there toward the Midwest this weekend. So temperatures not too shabby, really not that much different from today as we go into tomorrow afternoon. You can see the 32-degree line further to the north, those 40s across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and the Northeast, and then the 50s, 60s, and 70s further down to the south. Going into Sunday morning, if you're heading off to church or have any errands to run, make sure that you bring a jacket with you. Going to be pretty chilly, especially across Montana, where areas could start off in the middle to upper single digits Sunday morning. Teens over here for the Black Hills region of the Dakotas. And then as we go into Sunday afternoon, we will recover up there into the 20s and 30s, and we actually will be a touch warmer for the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and the Northeast, maybe more 50s being more abundant across across this region. 80s returning for North Texas with that southerly flow as we go into later this weekend on Sunday. Now, looking at Saturday here, we got a low pressure on either coast, which means the only answer is we have a ridge of high pressure. That's why we're warming up steadily this weekend, and that means more active weather out west and more active weather out east for Saturday and also for Sunday as well. And taking a look here as we go into next week, let's look at the ice and snow cover really across North America. The ice cover in orange up here in the Arctic Circle, that's very abundant up there. Alaska, most of Alaska is covered with snow, at least with an inch on the ground. Same thing here with Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and much of southwestern Canada, where that colder air is bottled up for this weekend. But note this, where the snowpack is, that is the origin point of our cold air as we go into next week, and it's going to be sliding down southeast from western and central Canada into the central and eastern United States. And this actually could be quite potent, one of the strongest cold air outbreaks of the season. So starting off next work week, Monday, November 25th, you can see that colder air coming in from Canada, diving perhaps all the way south with below normal temperatures to the Red River Valley here in North Texas and southern Oklahoma. We see that kind of shift east towards portions of the southeast a little bit as we go in towards Wednesday, but then a stronger push of cold air comes in on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, and on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, which is Black Friday, and that could actually lead to some very cold air, especially up here to the north, but all the way down to the Gulf Coast and central Florida will be those below normal temperatures for Friday, November 29th. So let's look also at the jet stream, because yes, we have the cold air in place. Will we have the moisture for any snowfall with the cold air in place? You see the jet stream further to the south here as that colder air comes in and filters in from Canada into parts of the United States, and an active jet stream means we could have a couple of storm systems traversing west to east, starting in the Rockies and moving across portions of the Mid-South, and then eventually up the East Coast. So let's look here at next week. Right now for Monday, looks pretty quiet outside of a few pesky rain or snow showers here across parts of the country. Tuesday, same deal. We have a storm coming in, though, across the Pacific Southwest, adding more snowfall to the ski resorts and the watershed out west here in the Sierras and the Rockies. And then as we go to Wednesday, that moves across portions of, say, the Denver area, where we could see some snowfall there and some potent snowfall at that on Wednesday. And then that system will crawl across portions of the Ohio Valley. The northern periphery of that could be giving us some snow. However, what is interesting is that cold air could be dry air, right? Colder air is drier typically, and that could eat away at the northern shield of that precipitation shield, and that could actually lessen the snowfall risk here across the Midwest Great Lakes. So we'll watch that for Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. But nonetheless, the lakes are warm. When you got warm Great Lakes and you have colder air aloft, that is a recipe for some lake effect snowfall. So that is something we'll watch for Friday. And some models are actually bringing a decent snowstorm to parts of the Northeast as we go into Friday later next week. We'll keep an eye on that. Overall here, total precipitation next week between Monday, November 25th and Friday, November 29th, which is the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. That's what we're seeing here across the United States. Some active weather out west and pretty active weather out east. And looking here at three main operational models for snowfall, and there's a lot of disagreements here. So it's not all set in stone. The European model for snowfall has the snow coming across the Rockies and the Sierras. That is high confidence at this point. And you can see some Great Lakes, lake effect snow, and then maybe some snow for the Northeast on this model. GFS, the American guidance, still high confidence, Sierra snowfall, Rocky snowfall, but the snow track a little bit further north and more into southeastern Canada for Ontario and Quebec and the northern Great Lakes, so Lake Superior and the UP of Michigan on this model gets hit harder by the snowfall there. And then the outlier, if you will, the GEM model is showing a much more significant snow event for the Northeast, stretching from Maine all the way back to eastern Ohio and Pennsylvania, down the Appalachians into West Virginia, but again, it's all high confidence for Sierras and Rockies. So there's a little bit of disagreement here where the Euro model actually shows a little bit of snow, the GFS not much, and then the Canadian, the GEM model is absolutely going bonkers with the snow here. A lot of disagreement, not all set in stone here. It's not a guarantee we see a snowstorm in the Northeast later next week, but it's something we will keep an eye on, that is for sure. Heading into the first week of December, December 1st through December 8th here, whatever happens with that storm system around Thanksgiving, that is still going to be bringing in colder air on the back side of it, and that is going to filter into a lot of the lower 48. So it's definitely going to start to feel more like winter. If it doesn't late November for any folks out there, it definitely will for the first week of December, and that, again, will go all the way south to the Gulf Coast and parts of northern Florida with at least those below normal temperatures. And you see the greens here into the upper Midwest, into the Ohio Valley and parts of the Central Plains. Those are well below normal temperatures that could be 20, 30 degrees below normal for this time of year. And again, going back to the snow and ice cover, the origin of that cold air will be over that snow cover here and then pushing south and east. That snow cover up in Canada is helping to cool our air mass across the United States. And again, that could bring more active weather with some snowfall on the northern periphery of those low pressure systems, assuming the storm track in early December remains from the Rockies all the way through the central U.S. into the Northeast. North of there, that's where the snowfall will be. South of there, rainfall and perhaps some isolated severe weather events as well. We will for sure keep you covered here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips. Turn on the post notification bell so you are notified when I do post my videos. Like the video, of course. I cannot stress this enough. It does help out more than you know. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those after the video, and I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their Friday out there.